Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. There's been a lot of people celebrating in the past 24 hours because this is the day after Justin Trudeau came out and, in a press conference, stated that he will resign as leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister of Canada once the Liberal Party has selected a new leader. So, as probably the least liked Prime Minister in the last 50 years, a lot of people are celebrating that finally we're going to be done with Justin Trudeau. Is it really a win? In this process of what he's done, he's pro-Parliament, which makes sense, because he asked for a leadership convention to be held so they can select a new leader. Unfortunately, they can't be doing that while Parliament is in session. Well, I guess they could, except for the fact that the opposition parties have stated they're going to vote non-confidence in the government. And they definitely don't want to have an election without a leader of their party. That would be disastrous for the Liberal Party. So, where does this leave us as Canadians, as people who have a more conservative philosophy for government? Well, first thing we end up with is a lame duck prime minister who is in a holding pattern for the next 4 months or so, until the new leader is selected by the Liberal Party, and then once that happens, Parliament will come back. They'll have to do a fiscal update, if not a full-fledged budget, and unfortunately, as the opposition parties have stated, they're going to vote non-confidence in the current government. That means an election will be triggered and we'll be going to the polls sooner than the scheduled October date. Now, unfortunately for some of us, we were hoping that would happen in January when Parliament was scheduled to come back, and there'd be a vote of non-confidence, which would trigger an election. But, of course, that hasn't happened. And you'll notice that Justin Trudeau hasn't resigned completely, because, of course, if he was to completely resign as of now, an election definitely would have to be triggered because there is no mechanism in place, easy mechanism, I guess, in place to have a prime minister step up and take over for him. I guess the head honchos, the people in power of the Liberal Party, could select an interim leader to be put in, and that person would take over as prime minister. The downside on that, and it's kind of, it's a compounding the situation we're actually in. If they had done that, he would have stepped down, interim leader would have come in place, they would have selected a new leader who then would take over, an election would be called, and the chances, if you look at the current polling, of overcoming the overwhelming lead the Conservative Party has in the polls is very slim, even with a new leader. So there's a good chance that Pierre Poilievre's Conservative Party would win the majority in the next election, making him prime minister. So we would have had Justin Trudeau, interim leader, new leader, then Pierre. That's in a span of a year, we would have had 4 prime ministers. Now, unfortunately, in the span of the year, there's a good chance we're going to have 3 prime ministers. And because Justin Trudeau waited until now to resign, he has left the new leader that will be coming on board very little time to get their things in order, to build the rapport with the Canadian population. So it most likely will still be a major loss for the Liberals this upcoming election this year. Will it be as bad as it was if they had kept Justin Trudeau as leader, or if Justin Trudeau has decided? Because, of course, there was really nothing they could do if he came back and just said, no, I'm not going. Probably not as bad, but the fact that of the matter is that the brand Liberal right now has been tarnished over the past 10 years for the majority of Canadians, means that there's very little chance they will be winning the election. Anyway, next issue we face, which is actually probably the more dire issue, is, of course, in the geopolitical sense, the relationship with the United States and the incoming Trump administration. Trump has coming in, whether you like him or not, with a very strong mandate of an America First policy. And Trump is someone who can sense weakness from a mile away, and whether you're his ally or his enemy, it doesn't matter. He will pounce on that weakness and use it to his advantage, to their advantage, to work out a more favorable deal for them. Now, there's no reason, if we had strong leaders who were sitting across the table with a delegation from the United States negotiating the trade issues that seem to be there, according to Trump, there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to have a win-win on that. Because, yes, we have a trade surplus with the United States, and that is not a fault of the United States. That is a fault of Canada. The issue is we basically, due to lack of development, sell our energy at a drastically reduced price to the United States. We don't refine it. We don't. So all of our crude oil is being sold at discounted prices. Our natural gas is drastically discounted and sold into the United States. They then refine it and bring it to market. Canada, because of that, is losing a lot of money, but we're selling massive amounts of energy into the especially western United States to refine and ship. Now, that is a problem in Canada. That's our problem because we have not developed our energy industry the way we should have. Canada is an energy powerhouse in the world. We should be the ones producing power and exporting it to the world. And we don't do that nearly well enough. But if that surplus stops, it's going to hurt the U.S. as much or more than it's going to hurt Canada. So if our leadership would take and sit down and say, listen, this is the issue, but what we're going to do is develop some refining facilities here in Canada, develop some pipelines, put it out on the market so that we're raising the price and getting our own product to market, it's a win-win. We would then have a larger GDP. The Canadian government would be able to invest more in North American protection when it comes to our sovereignty, especially in the north. Both China and Russia are making claims to the northern region. And as the country that has a huge northern region, we need to be doing better at ensuring our sovereignty is there and there's a protection for the North American continent. The United States is there, and yes, they're a superpower, and yes, their military is massively strong, but we cannot, as a sovereign country, just expect that they are going to be the ones that take care of any incursions that might happen into the northern area. This northwest passage is going to be a massive economic benefit for whatever country can claim their sovereignty enough in the international waters, in the fishing, in the natural resources of oil and natural gas that is found under those waters. It's billions upon billions upon billions of dollars worth of revenue that is there, that is being untouched. And without our government making that a priority, it's going to be controlled by Russia, by China, who are not favorable actors when it comes to the Western world, we'll say, and our philosophy and ideologies. So, Justin Trudeau resigning, good, bad? Yeah, it's great. We've been looking to get rid of him. We are tired of his direction, we'll say, that he's been moving the country in, right or wrong. The movements for the majority of Canadians was too much, too soon. Going to a different leader, the Liberal Party will attempt to, I'm sure, pull back on that and distance themselves from Justin Trudeau's policies. But unfortunately, the current crop of potential candidates that are going to take over as leader of the Liberal Party and become Prime Minister are basically the same people, not basically, are the same people that have been supporting and empowering Justin Trudeau for the past 10 years to do what he says. So unless they're going to come and drastically differentiate themselves, I cannot say that word right now, on that topic and on their philosophy, they're going to be painted with the same picture as him. So are they willing to drastically do that? And will their core supporters, because there are still core supporters of the Liberal Party, will they accept a philosophy that's drastically different than what is currently going forward in the Liberal Party? Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I could go on for hours, but this video is already getting a little bit long. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later.